that R squared can be expressed either as a percentage or as a proportion. So when you're writing a percentage, the percentage sign is always to be included. Okay, right? So that's just information. Determine which of the following could not be a fair value for R squared. So to calculate this thing, it's I don't know if this textbook calls it that, but it's typically called the coefficient of determination. That's a name for R squared. You get it by taking the correlation coefficient R and multiplying it by itself. Now, a little bit of notes to go along with this. The correlation coefficient is a number that tells you how good the data is to being a straight line, how good a fit it is. For instance, it has a range from 0 up to 1. Now, 1 would be a perfect fit, right? Every dot was on the same line. 0 would be the theoretical worst case scenario where nothing fitted with anything else, right? No matter where you drew the line, nobody was any good, right? That kind of thing, right? Now, because the R value starts at 0 and finishes at 1, we now know what the R squared values can do. Nothing squared is nothing. 1 squared is 1. That tells me that R squared, right, can be between 0 and 1. Oh, and by the way, let me correct myself. The R value could be between -1 and 1, because you could have slopes pointing down the way. But R squared is guaranteed to be positive, and the smallest number is 0, like I said, and the biggest is 1. So as I go through this list, we look like we should be able to match them all up, right?
So essentially, do I just square all the numbers that I have right here then?
What you do is you be careful when you read the question. You wrote down all the ones that were good. You were being asked actually to write down the ones that could not be a value. So all the ones you didn't pick are the ones you should have chosen. You didn't read the question. You thought, determine the values which could be R squared. The question really says could not be R squared.
Okay, so just pick the
Negative.
other 4.
Yeah.
So R squared can never be negative because
Correct,
it's
because
squared.
any number times itself is guaranteed to be positive. So that's the top one. It can't be 1.7 because you can't get an answer bigger than 1. It can't be -50% because it's negative. And it can't be 200% because that's bigger than 1, which is 100%.
Got it. And then this one, refer to the values in part A, which one, blah, blah. I don't understand the question.
Right. Refer to the values in part A. Okay, so the first set of numbers. Which ones of the legitimate values for R squared represents the strongest relationship? Oh, God, that's a little bit messy, but let's figure it out. You go up to the top and you look at the ones that could be used, the legitimate values. And the legitimate values are 0, 0.3, 1, and 25. So you're not even using your answers. You're just using the table, and this time looking for the good ones. Now, of these 4 good ones, one of them represents the strongest relationship. Right. When you do a straight line, what value will R be when it's a perfect fit?
1 or 0.
1, yeah, well, 1. 0 is horrible fit. 0 is no good at all. It's a big circle of dots would probably be like a 0. A perfect straight line.
1 or -1, but because it's R squared, it will be +1.
Correct. And that's the one you should have chosen.
Oh my God. Okay.